Hi. The last time you were over here, I saw you at the Rainbow when you were sort of playing second fiddle to the Dutch band Lynyrd, and the reception that you got over here last time from the London audience was really incredible. The fact that you came over as a second act, really, and then a few weeks after that, you came back and topped the bill, and the house was full, and the gig was a great gig. That must have been a great upper for you on your first visit here to London.
For sure, it felt great.
Did you expect, I mean, before that, really, you'd played with The Who, hadn't you, in North America?
Right.
And you'd done a few other gigs. But basically, you really hadn't sort of travelled out of your home state. Is that just good publicity that in the handout it says that you hadn't left Jacksonville, Florida?
It's basically true. Actually, it's not so much Jacksonville, Florida. It's that region of America in the southeast. And when we played with The Who, it was the first time we'd ever covered that territory of the country.
We'd never played in front of a crowd either, bigger than like 1,200 people. And first night out with The Who was at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. It was like 18,000. So we just
Because you really were, I suppose, the word discovered by Al Kooper. How did that come
Who was that?
about? Because he produced your first two albums.
Oh yeah, right. I
Right.
think we know him.
How did Al Kooper actually get to bring you into this?
We were playing bars and pubs, and this one particular one in Atlanta, called Pinocchio's, and he came in one night while we was playing and asked to jam. And I said, sure, why not? And so we got to be friends with him. He started playing with us, jamming with us every night we was there. And we were there for a couple of weeks. And then he told us about his record label and, that he wanted to sign us, and we didn't have anything better to do at the time, so we signed, Really, we didn't have anything going for us.
Anything to get out of the southern slave circuit.
I don't know if it's the same for small bands in America, but here in England, small bands really just play small bars, and it takes a long, long time, if at all, if they're going to ever get a record contract. And they just travel up and down our famed M1 motorway from the south.
We did the same thing for 7 years.
That's the same thing in the States.
Everybody's got to pay the dues sometime.
Yeah. I mean, is it really that difficult when you are a small band in the States to
Well, I'd say not that much more difficult than it is for any bands anywhere.
You got to be in the right place at the right time, really. And that takes a long time.
I suppose that must be a sort of a theme tune for you, really, that track.
Controversial tune, really.
Controversial?
Yes.
What, the Neil Young thing?
Yeah, about Neil Young.
Could you elaborate on that? Because it's something I've always wondered about, but I thought it was...
Really, we listen to Neil Young a lot. We like him with others' music. And he has a song called Alabama where he was putting down, Alabama, the whole state of Alabama. And actually, he was just cutting down the governor in a roundabout way, Mr. Wallace. And we felt like he was shooting all of the dogs because some had to flee, And
Same situation with a song called Southern Man, where he's singing about him seeing tall white mansions and little shacks, and he heard bullwhips cracking, and
he ain't heard nothing,
screaming.
man. I mean, he's from California. He don't know nothing.
There ain't no tall white mansions or little shacks down there no more. I don't believe. I haven't seen any.
Yeah. I'd like to play that, actually. We've got to take a break in a second. But you said that was recorded like 6 years ago. And
No, it wasn't recorded. We read it.
You were playing it 6 years ago?
Yeah,
right.
we were playing it in pubs all 6 years ago.
Is
Since then we've been branded with it, we must play it. It's, I would say it's our most popular song.
Yeah, I mean,
even more so than Alabama.
How do you actually feel when you're up there on stage and everyone is shouting for Freebird?
Yeah,
I mean, are you really? I mean, do you tend to get sick of these?
You get bored with playing the same song, and you get back into a routine, which we hate to do, But you're there for the people. The people paid the money. It's their show. It's always their show, and whatever they demand that we play them.
You tend to worry sometimes too when that's all they shout for.
Yeah, I mean, if we played Freebird the first song, we might not have an audience after the second one. We don't know.
Well, in the studio here we got Leon and Ronnie from Lynyrd Skynyrd. You had two very successful albums produced by Al Kooper, and you brought in the new single, an acetate of your new single, Double Trouble. Presumably that's a cut from an album.
All right, so it's the title song from the album.
Yeah, and yet that's been produced by a new producer, so you had two very successful albums with Al Kooper, and now you've gone over to Tom
Three.
Dowd.
That's excluding Nothing
Three,
Fancy.
sorry.
Three,
Yeah,
altogether.
Sorry. Why did you make that change from Kooper to Dowd? I gather that there's a sort of...
You want me to tell it, Leon?
Nothing Fancy was the beginning of the Kooper dilemma, and Ronnie Van Zant, take it away.
He was always wanting to make it blood, sweat, and Lynyrd Skynyrd, you know. He's a musician, not a producer.
He's trying to make that step.
And he has his ideas the way songs should go, and we have our own. And he was always trying to influence us to do this and do that, and we'd always end up in an argument, and sometimes almost fighting. And when we was doing Nothing Fancy, we finally shipped him out of the studio. We shipped him to New York for 5 days, so we could get ourselves back together again, you know. And we owe Al quite a lot, you know. He was the one that got us our break and all, but we paid him very well and lived up to our contracts, and our contract's over with him. And we felt that now is the time to go in a different direction with a new man.
How important to a band like yourselves is the actual producer?
Very, very, very important. Very, very important.
I think
half of it.
The job of a producer should be mainly that he just lay back, stay in the studio, listen, speak when spoken to, and, you know, just direct the engineering and the recording. If he has musical ideas, to only, you know, get involved with that, you know, category of the group, if they so desired, you know, for him to consult with them on it. And Kooper was, you know, just pushing that part of being a producer. You know, he was trying to express musical ideas and get involved in the musical part of the group.
In the end, the group's the one that's going to live with it or die with it, you know. So if it turns out bad, we want it all to be us, you know. I mean, be hell if you put out a bad album and...
Did that manifest itself in
Nothing? The producer's fault.
In Nothing Fancy, you know, the problems that you had, or did you iron that out? I mean, is that an album that you feel is you? I mean, did you have any problems during that album?
Oh yes, like I said, we had to send Kooper to New York 5 days. We fought with him like cats and dogs.
There was just too much pressure, and Kooper seemed to really be breaking under it. And
he almost had a nervous breakdown.
Well, anyway, you've now got Tom Dowd as your producer. When is the album coming out, the new album?
It'll be February.
February?
It'll be finished long
That's
time.
in America.
Yeah, no trouble. I love that little bit in it where you don't actually say the word that you mean to say. Yeah, you know what. It's 10 to 10 on this Thursday night. You're listening to Capital, and your mother wouldn't like it. And your gig is on the 27th, is it not? At the Odeon Hammersmith. And looking forward to that, because there's a lot of buzz around at the moment about that gig. Will you be doing any new tracks from the new album?
We'll be doing that one. We'll be doing about 3 or 4 songs that time.
Yeah.
I'll be off the new album.
And Free Bird.
And Free Bird.
And Sweet Home Alabama.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
It's been really nice.
Thank you.
And next time you're back in town, do please come up.